guys, welcome back to our channel once more. So as I promised in my previous IELTS video, that previous video was on how to register for IELTS exam. So if you haven't watched, please watch it. I'll be putting the link in the description box. Now let's come back to the topic. So today I've come out with the tricks and tips on how to score band 9 in IELTS listening. Today I'm going to speak only about listening. In the next following videos, I'll be uploading videos and reading, writing, and speaking separately. So stay tuned. If you follow the instructions which I'm going to explain to you systematically, I guarantee that you are going to get band 9. Just follow that, and but you have to be you have to create a certain routine and have to follow that. Okay, so I hope you'll enjoy this video, and after this please do subscribe. Let me speak a few bit in Malayalam. അപ്പോൾ ഞാൻ ഇന്ന് വന്നേക്കുന്നത് നിങ്ങൾ പ്രീവിയസ് എൻ്റെ IELTS രജിസ്ട്രേഷൻ ബുക്കിംഗ് വീഡിയോ കണ്ടു കാണാം. അന്ന് പ്രോമിസ് ചെയ്ത പോലെ ലിസണിങ്ങിനെ പറ്റി ഒരു സെപ്പറേറ്റ് വീഡിയോ ബാൻഡ് 9 എങ്ങനെ അച്ചീവ് ചെയ്യാന്നുള്ള അതിൻ്റെ ട്രിക്സും ടിപ്സും പറയാനാണ്. നിങ്ങൾ കണ്ട് സപ്പോർട്ട് ചെയ്യുക. ഇത് സ്ട്രിക്ട്ലി ഫോളോ ചെയ്യാൻ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഉറപ്പായിട്ടും ബാൻഡ് 9 കിട്ടും, എൻ്റെ ഗ്യാരണ്ടിയാണ്. ഓക്കെ, ഇനി ഞാൻ മുമ്പോട്ട് ഇംഗ്ലീഷിലായിരിക്കും മാക്സിമം പറയുന്നത്. സോ പ്ലീസ് സ്റ്റേ ട്യൂൺഡ്. ഇനി മുമ്പോട്ട് ഫ്യൂച്ചറിൽ റീഡിങ്, റൈറ്റിംഗ്, സ്പീക്കിങ്ങിൻ്റെ വീഡിയോസ് അപ്ലോഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ പ്ലാൻ ഉണ്ട്. നിങ്ങളിത് മാക്സിമം സപ്പോർട്ട് ചെയ്യുക. ഓക്കെ, സോ ലെറ്റ്സ് ഗോ ഗൈസ്.
So guys, welcome back. Before we move to the most important section, let me show you how the band score is divided. I have clearly explained this in this table. Let me remind you, for IELTS academic in general, the score is same. Okay, there's no difference. So now let me explain to you. If you get out of 40, if you get 39 to 40 correct answers, you'll get a band score of 9. I hope that's clear for you. Again, if you get 38 to 37 correct answers out of 40, you'll get 8.5 band score. If you get 35 to 36 correct answers out of 40, you'll get 8 band score. Okay, I hope that's clear for you. The rest is same. You can just take a note of that. I would suggest always aim for the top score, that is 9. Don't think about 8.5 or 8. When you aim for 9, then only you'll get at least 8. It's the common procedure. So always aim for the top score. Okay, so that will help you to get a very big score. So I hope that's clear for you. Now let me speak a few bit in Malayalam. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് മനസ്സിലായെന്ന് ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നു. ഇത് IELTSന്റെ മെയിൻ സെക്ഷനിലേക്ക് പോകുന്നതിന് മുമ്പ് ഞാൻ ജസ്റ്റ് ഈ ബാൻഡ് സ്കോർ എങ്ങനെ ഡിവൈഡ് ചെയ്തേക്കുന്നത് കാണിക്കുക. ലിസണിങ് ജനറൽ അക്കാഡമിക്കിനും സെയിം ആയിരിക്കും. ഓക്കെ, ഇനിയും മുമ്പോട്ട് ഞാൻ ഇംഗ്ലീഷിലായിരിക്കും സംസാരിക്കുന്നത്. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ നിങ്ങൾ സ്ട്രിക്ട്ലി ഞാൻ പറയുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങൾ ഫോളോ ചെയ്താൽ ഉറപ്പായിട്ട് 9 കിട്ടും. നിങ്ങൾ 9 മാത്രമേ എയിം ചെയ്യാവുള്ളൂ ലിസണിങ്ങിന്. ലിസണിങ് മാത്രമല്ല, വേറെ മറ്റുള്ള മൊഡ്യൂൾസിന് ടോപ്പ് മാർക്ക് എയിം ചെയ്യുക. അപ്പം നമുക്കിനി അടുത്ത സെക്ഷനിലേക്ക് കിടക്കാം. സോ ഗൈസ്, ലെറ്റ്സ് മൂവ് ഫോർവേഡ്. സോ I have divided all the important points into different slides so that you can understand easily. Okay, guys, I've made this point after real thorough research. Okay, I've talked with different IELTS candidates, many of my friends who wrote IELTS, and based on my experience also, I've sorted out some important observations of mine after consultations, that this needs to be strictly followed for IELTS to get the required band score of 9. Okay, so before we begin, let me once again mention to you, our aim is 9 band, nothing else. Okay, once this video is over, I want all my viewers to take or to aim for 9 band in IELTS. Now let's begin, guys. So today I'm going to speak about the IELTS listening. It may be general or academic, both are same. IELTS listening, general or academic, tips and tricks to get 9 band. Okay, now let's move to the second slide. So it's called Listening Mantra 1. I've coined a name for it. Now let's look at the first point. Okay, never book your IELTS exam listening test until you practice 100 to 120 listening tests at home. This is really, really important, guys. The reason I'm telling is I have a friend of mine who was planning to go to Canada. He has been trying for Canadian Express entry, but unfortunately he couldn't reach the cutoff score because he was not getting 8 in listening. As you all know, to get or to pass or to cross the cutoff point for Express entry, you need to have 8 in listening, then all the other modules 7. His English is really good. He got 8 in writing the last time when he wrote, 9 in reading, and speaking 7.5. He only got 7 in listening. Can you just imagine why, guys? Because look at the second point. He relied on English conversations, such as he started watching English movies, uh, or he started watching English news channels. I'm not telling that's bad. He continuously kept on doing that. He never practiced. I'm telling, of course, you have to watch this, but just for a short time. Uh, don't just keep on watching this, and if you don't practice, nothing is going to happen. You won't be successful. Yes, exceptional cases, some students may be successful, but if you keep on watching this, you're not going to get successful. If you go to any coaching institutes, they're going to tell you this only: watch English news channels or watch movies. Yes, of course, that's important, but that's not everything. You have to rely on practice. Practice makes a man perfect. Okay, so you may be thinking, now where will we get all this 100 to 120 listening practice materials? You might be associated with any coaching institutes. You can ask them to give a photocopy of the listening practice test, and the answer will be in the back. You if you're going for Cambridge, I would suggest practice only Cambridge 1 to 13. Now I suppose there's the 13th edition have also come out. 1 to 13th, just take the photocopy and then come out, and you'll find the audio in YouTube. Okay, just type Cambridge IELTS 1 and you can practice. And there are various other sites. If you Google and search, you will get for practicing. uh, you won't find less materials. You will always find a lot of materials for practice. Okay, so please uh, practice 100 to 120 listening test at home. Then only you book for IELTS exam. I'm going to explain the benefits of this in the next slide. Now let's look at the benefits of practicing. First, your spelling will improve. Secondly, in IELTS listening, you will hear the conversations of different people. You'll hear the accents of different people from different English speaking countries such as Australia, Canada, or England. So when you practice 100 to 120 times, you'll get used with these conversations and you won't have confusions. So that's the reason I again tell you to practice 100 to 120 times. Okay, you will get used with the accents of different English speaking countries. Thirdly, it will boost your confidence before the main exam day if you practice this much. I hope that's clear for you. If you have any doubts, please email me. I'll be giving my email in the description box. I'll be replying back within the next 24 hours once you email me. Okay. Now let's move to the next slide. That's listening mantra 2. Now listen to this carefully, guys. Always book IELTS exam listening test only when you get more than the record band score repeatedly at least 20 times while practicing at home. I know you didn't understand what I mean. Now let's move to the next slide. You'll clearly understand that. Okay? That means what I said, that if suppose you're going to Australia, you're a student, and your record IELTS listening band score is 7. You record that. Always make sure that when you practice at home, try to get repeatedly 8 or above 8 band at least 20 times in listening, then only book for IELTS exam. Okay, suppose if your record band score is 8, suppose Canada Express entry, the record band score is 8 for listening. When you practice at home, try to repeatedly get at least 8.5 or 9 at least 20 times. Repeatedly 20 times you should get while practicing at home, uh, above the record band score, then only book the IELTS exam. Also, please note the point. When you self-check the answers, please be genuine. Okay, some people, they just for slight spelling mistake and all, they just ignore that and mark it as correct. Don't do that. Even if there is slight spelling mistake, just cut it off, because you're practicing, and then try to work on that. Okay, so that's why I said always target above the record band score and try to get it at least while practicing, try to get repeatedly 20 times, then only go and book. This will be really, really beneficial for you while appearing for the exam. Okay, I hope that's clear. Now let's move to the next slide. Okay, the next important point. During practicing at home, when you practice at home, the total marks, the total questions are 40. And suppose you get 30 correct answers and 10 wrong answers. Take the 10 wrong answers, be genuine when you self correct. Even if there's a slight mistake, cut it off and mark it as wrong answers. Here, take the 10 wrong answers. Okay. Suppose you have made a mistake in question number 30. There's a you have made a mistake. Take the audio of that question number 30. Listen to that again. Repeatedly listen. Why did I make the mistake? Try to figure out the mistake. Okay. Uh, it may be because the speaker spoke really fast. It may be because you were in some other thoughts and you didn't listen to the speaker. This is important, guys. During exam time, when you when you write, especially you during listening, it happens to everybody. It happened to me also. When you write listening test, uh, different thoughts about our future, about various interesting things comes to our mind, and our mind get deviated, and as a result we'll miss out some important points which the speaker is speaking. And remember, IELTS, they never repeat what they speak, they just go on like a river, they don't come back. Okay, so please be attentive uh, to all the 40 questions during IELTS listening. Okay, now let's come to this point. So if you make a mistake, go back and check and listen to that audio and repeatedly and find out the real reason why you made the mistake. That will be really helpful to you guys. Okay. Uh, so I've explained in the second point. Now let's move to the next slide. Now the spelling part. Suppose in that 30 questions, 3 answers went wrong because you wrote the wrong spelling. What you should do. During our college days, we all had imposition books. I had, during my master time, I had an imposition book. My professor was very strict in that. Whatever mistakes we made during exams, we used to write. Maybe it may be a 15-mark essay or anything we had to write in that book. Okay, 10 times or 5 times. So same way, whatever mistakes you make in this IELTS spelling, write it down in the separate book. Google and find out the correct spelling. Write it down at least 10 times. Even if you practice 20 times, it's fine. Practice the spelling by writing repeatedly 10 times. It will be really, really helpful for you. Uh, just imagine you are practicing 100 IELTS listening test before exam, and so if you practice 100, 4,000 questions, and out of that, if 1,000 spelling mistakes comes out, and you practice those 1,000 spelling mistakes, it is a huge booster for you when you go to the exam. Sometimes those practicing spellings only they'll be asking during the exams, and it will be really beneficial for you, not only in listening but also for writing test also. So if you make a spelling mistake in listening, write it down 10 times in a separate notebook. That will be really, really good for you, and it will be beneficial for you, not only for IELTS, for your other future endeavors. Okay, so another benefit is, on the exam day, the fear of spelling mistake will vanish and you will gain confidence. I hope this makes sense. Okay, now let's move to the next slide. Now, listening mantra 3. Uh, IELTS listening has 4 sections. Uh, Now it's called parts. I think instead of sections, they have changed it into parts. Recently, I've heard like that. I'm not sure about it. Just have a check. Part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. That's what some have told me. Some guys have told me. Whatever it is, each part or each section has instructions written in the top. Read that thoroughly and understand it. Okay. Some will mention don't write more than one word, or some 2 word, or some will even mention don't write more than 3 words. If you don't follow that, you're going to lose marks. Okay. They're going to cut it off. If you write 4 words instead of 3, if they ask 3, they're going to cut it off. So read the instructions carefully. Okay. Then the next thing is try to predict the answers in advance. If you miss some conversations, and if there's a blank in the answer, just read the sentence and try to understand and just write. Sometimes it may be correct. Okay. There's no negative marking in IELTS, so you don't have to worry about negative one marking. So you can predict. If you miss something, you can predict and then just write. Don't leave any answers blank. Okay, just fill everything. Okay, so I hope this is clear for you. Now let's move to the next section. Listening mantra 4 is singular and plural. Okay. um, so when it comes to singular and plural, guys, many guys make mistake in this section. Uh, for example, there are some, you won't say there's some dash, there's some apple inside the box. You will only say there's some apples inside the box, plural. Then there is an, you won't say apples. There is an apple inside the box. So that's how the singular and plural works. Many guys makes mistake. Work on this. Just read the sentence before uh, writing the answer. You will understand whether it's singular or plural. You should take note of this. Then the next thing is transfer the answers only in capital letters while transferring, and also use a pencil only. And you should have an eraser in front of you. Normally, while listening, you'll transfer the answer to the question paper only first. Then, after the listening test is over, you'll get 10 minutes to transfer it to the main answer sheet. So, while transferring, always write in capital letters only. Okay. Uh, and also using a pencil. That will be really beneficial for you. Okay. Now, let's move to the next slide. Now, I'm going to explain the types of questions that comes. I'll be explaining the 2 important uh, questions, which is a bit complicated for everybody. The first one is multiple choice questions. Okay, for this, in multiple choice questions, there will be either 3 or 4 options. Okay, in this, listen to the speaker carefully. Okay, here in multiple choice questions, the speaker can trick you. So what you have to do is, don't write the first answer or don't write the first option that you hear. Sometimes the speaker will trick you and he will be mentioning all the 4 options. But in some questions, in multiple questions, he will only mention one option. Okay. But whereas in some, he will mention all the 4 options. So you have to be patient and listen to him carefully. After him mentioning all the 4 options, then he will finally come and settle in one option. So be very careful, especially multiple choice question. Listen to the speaker, and don't let your mind deviate to other thoughts and all, because there's a chance the speaker can trick you. You can say all the 4 options, and then come back and select a particular option. So be very attentive while attending multiple choice questions. Okay, and also don't spend too much time on one question, whichever questions it may be. If you don't get answer, try to guess it. There's no negative marking, as I explained before. Okay, so I hope this is clear for you. Now let's move to the next slide. Here, labeling a map. Sometimes in questions in IELTS exam, you may find maps or plan or anything. In this case, don't panic. Either in the bottom or the side, you might find some directions, north, south, east, west. Okay, follow that and just follow the speaker attentively. Follow the map as well as the speaker. Uh, Map, try to understand the direction, then attentively listen to the speaker. He will be explaining uh, about that nap or plan, following that directions only. So that's simple. You shouldn't confuse. That's why I said this kind of things practice is very important. Practice, practice, practice. Then you'll be thorough with this. Okay, and also try to predict the answers in advance. Okay, that's also will be beneficial for you. So whatever tips I have explained to you, the most important thing is practice. Practice, practice, practice. That's only what I have to tell you rather than watching videos and all. It will be in some way beneficial, but it's not going to help you fully. Okay? Now, finally, let me tell, as I had been explaining to you, as also the famous proverb says, practice only makes a man perfect. So I would say practice, practice, practice. 100 to 120 times, then only book for IELTS listening. I hope this is clear to you. Once again, if you have any doubts, email me. I'll be very happy to reply you back. Um, Please follow these instructions from today, those who are going to apply for IELTS. This will really be helping you in acquiring the band score of 9. And also always aim for the topmost mark. Don't aim for if you are going to apply for IELTS, don't aim for 8.5. Always aim for 9. Okay. I hope this is clear for you. Uh, very soon I'll be coming out with another video on another module. Now listening is over. So if you have any doubts, please do email me. So bye bye.